situation out here on the floor. Look at this.
Seth realizing he's in trouble, but look at this!
Seth was trying to quarterback it.
Reigns, Ambrose, and Rollins shade to the Shield!
Are they just doing this?
No! Get Reigns is called for it! Reigns is called for it! This is old Shield!
No way!
This is Shield of old! The triple power bomb to the table! The Shield reuniting one time only with a triple power bomb of Randy Orton through the table!
How do you know it's one time only? Seth is still the architect.
Are you kidding me?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Fatal 4-Way Podcast, Episode 6. I am your host, Jesse the Man Lopez, alongside Ernest Ultra Zamora, and we're bringing you an extra episode of the Fatal 4-Way Podcast this month.
And why is that, Jesse?
Because we had so much wrestling action. We had Payback. We had NXT Take-Over, Unstoppable, and we have the Elimination Chamber coming up on Sunday. So we're just going to recap, give you our predictions for Elimination Chamber, talk about the fallout, and all that good stuff. So we're going to start off with Payback. What you just heard there was a clip of the short-lived reunion of the Shield. That match was incredible. That was like a war zone out there on that Fatal 4-Way.
That it was, and that I actually enjoyed Payback. It's actually, for a change, I actually enjoyed it for quite a while.
You know, for Payback, to me, it was I gave it a B+ on it. I watched it back a couple of times. Originally, after it aired, I gave it an A-, but after I watched it back a couple of times, I decided to give it a B+. There's other things that could have been better on the card than what it was, but all in all, there was solid wrestling action throughout the card. We'll start off with the kickoff. Some of these matches we did not know at the time when we did our predictions, so there's a couple of new matches. You had R-Truth defeating Stardust in the kickoff. R-Truth really showed some displays. They actually might push R-Truth for a title. He's got the crowd with him. He seems pretty good. Same thing with Stardust. Stardust at the end of the match kind of looked like he was going back to Cody Rhodes, or that thought in the back of his mind that he might switch back to Cody. He's like, doesn't know where he's
on that
at.
Borderline, essentially.
Yeah, like, what am I doing? Why am I Stardust? All that good stuff. So that was pretty cool. Then you had the Ascension defeating the Meta Powers, or at that time the Mega Powers, the Damian Macho Mandow and Axelmania, which was awesome. That was a nice little tribute, and I think they're gonna go roll with it. But the Ascension again showing their dominance again.
We were talking about the Ascension the other day, weren't we?
Yeah, we were talking about the Ascension, like how they just faded off. But now with the Elimination Chamber coming up, they're in one of the matches. We'll be talking about that here momentarily. But the Ascension defeating the Mega Powers was actually pretty good as well. The next match was Sheamus versus Dolph Ziggler. Sheamus got the victory on that one. That one was very, very good too. Dolph Ziggler busted open on that one.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, he that headbutt, man. You wouldn't think it, but damn, he just busted right open. Like, his whole face was just covered in blood.
Yeah, that gash on there, and you could see it on Monday Night Raw and everything that happened on the Fallout. But man, Dolph Ziggler really took one, and he's also in that Elimination Chamber match as well. Both of these guys are, and we'll get to it for that one. The next one was the 2 out of 3 falls with the New Day and versus Cesaro and Kid. The New Day taking that one with once again, Jesse calls it right up in it, and Xavier Woods, the Freebird rule,
he wanted the Freebird rule to be there and
instated, though it didn't, but then it did.
Sort of. The ref didn't see it, quote unquote, didn't see it. So
good controversy on that one. I love it. The New Day again. I like the New Day for some odd reason. It's just something about the New Day that's drawing me in to them.
For me, it's just Xavier Woods, because I think Xavier Woods is out of all of them, he's the most nerdy one out of the group. But then again, I think everybody in the back locker room is pretty much sort of nerdy. Like, just the other day, I saw a tweet between him and Rusev playing Mortal Kombat. I was like, I think everybody in the back locker room is pretty much a nerdy in a certain own little way.
I mean, when you're on tour for so long as that they're on, there's that's all you have are the guys in the back. So you try to do as much camaraderie as you can with the boys. I know Xavier Woods, Cody Rhodes, Kofi Kingston, they're gamers, so they do game. Back in the day, Cody Rhodes used to have the Triforce on his boots. That was pretty cool.
And then Xavier Woods on WWE 2K15, he actually has over 9,000 on his pants.
On his pants, yeah. I mean, that was a nice little Easter egg. I was like, what? And then when I looked at it, you're like, yeah, he has 9,000, over 9,000 on his pants. I was like, no, he doesn't. And then I was like, oh, crap, he does. So that was pretty cool that they added little small little snippets there. The next one was Bray Wyatt defeating Ryback. Again, I had no interest in this match. This match was just thrown together. Bray Wyatt winning.
I have to agree with you there. That match it did not attract me at all. I was just pretty much bored throughout the whole match. And I feel bad for Ryback for, I guess, jobbing too, sort of. But it's just like, oh man, that match did not get me enthused at all.
I don't know if it was just how it was billed. Yeah, it's one of those things. It looked good on paper, but it didn't pan out. I think if they were to do this match again with proper build-up to it and a proper story than just throwing them together just because they had nothing going on, I think it would be a pretty good story. Maybe this planted the seeds for a match later on in the future. The next one was the I Quit match with John Cena versus Rusev. With Rusev not saying I quit, but having his, I guess his currently in story is his ex-girlfriend Lana. With that one, I enjoyed this I Quit match, but I just didn't like the fact that how the ending played up with the I Quits, with the referee holding the microphone and asking, as opposed to the wrestlers doing it, like how they had it back in the past.
Well, to be fair, I never really saw any other previous I Quit matches, so this is the first time I've seen it.
Yeah.
But to be fair, yeah, this match was sort of meh. I mean, it was exciting for a moment, but then it got too silly. The ending really got too silly. Well, okay, I take that back. The ending where Rusev gets really pissed off and starts taking actually the turnbuckle off and taking the rope, that I thought was freaking cool. But the part where John Cena throws him over into the pyros, that was obviously not hit. You could see pretty bluntly the cushion behind the pyros. It was like, yeah, that's unbelievable. That's not believable. Sorry, WWE. You tried your best, but that's not real.
Yeah, I mean, the best pyro I think I've ever seen John Cena take was from the Big Show when he went into the big the strobe light. I thought that was freaking cool. So when they threw Rusev into the pyros, it could have been a lot better. Some of the stuff that they've done in the past, that did not live up to to the hype. When someone goes through some like an LED lights or stage props like how they had in the past. But my one thing was the referee trying to control the match.
Do you want to quit?
Yeah, asking.
Do you want to quit?
Asking that, well, as opposed to back then, again, the wrestlers had control of it, and I thought that's how it should have been. But I've heard other podcasts say the same thing, but I thought it was an entertaining match at times, and it was a really good ending. So I give props. John Cena again is on a hot streak, and once again he's in another match with the top build. This is how Cena is supposed to be built. Now that Rusev is now fading off and going on his own separate way, it's time to bring in the next monster. Who's the next monster? We'll talk about that when we get to the Elimination Chamber. The next one that took place was the Divas tag team, which was Naomi and Tamina Snuka defeating the Bella Twins. This was a surprise to me, but that match was actually entertaining. They're starting to give the Divas more time. You give the Divas more time, you'll start seeing what they could do physically. Daniel Bryan trained Nikki and Brie Bella, as well as John Cena. Nikki, of course, is John Cena's girlfriend. She trains with John Cena at his gym. Daniel Bryan trains Nikki and Brie together on their wrestling skills. So they have the skills to compete with the top divas. And if you give them more time, they will shine. And this proved it on this tag match, though it was still kind of short, not the kind of time that it was given to like the NXT divas, but still enough time for them to showcase what they could do.
Yeah, I found it actually somewhat entertaining. I mean, it kept me watching, not like Ryback and Bray Wyatt, but this one actually had me watching to see what they can do. And yeah, they pulled out pretty good.
I mean, I'm pretty sure as the time progresses with Give Divas a Chance movement starts going forward, I think we're going to start seeing some great matches out of Nikki with her last run maybe, and same thing with Brie and everybody else as they come up with the new women's division coming up. So I really hope that this actually goes through because women's wrestling deserves a spot. I've been a fan of women's wrestling. Some of my favorites were the Fabulous Moolah, Sherry Martel, Wendy Richter, Lundra Blaze too. These women, were great athletes and took no crap from men, and they deserved a spot. And I feel that they do deserve a spot. They just needed more time, and I'm glad that they're starting to do so. The next one was Neville versus King Barrett with the count-out victory, Neville winning. Again, these guys are pulling up all the stops. These guys have really good chemistry together, and Neville is showing he belongs almost to a title reign. I believe so anyway.
Neville,
yeah.
I enjoyed the match as well. How can I say the match? Because they fought in the past. I'm sure in NXT.
Oh yeah, and other matches that they had on the other pay-per-views. So the match was built really good. I liked it. The count out was surprising. Yeah,
that's something I didn't expect him to do. It's like, oh, okay, he's gonna walk out and let it count out. I like how Neville got angry and pretty much kicked his ass either way. Still after the bell rung, so that showed me, okay, he's not really. He's a babyface that actually gets pissed off. Yay, good. I like that. He's not just somebody that just a babyface, like, oh, okay, I won, yay, that kind of thing. But no, he went back there and like, hey, dude, I'm gonna kick your ass.
I mean, like I said, these guys have a chemistry, man. It's just something about these guys, about these UK wrestlers. Same thing with Sheamus and Finn. That's gonna be coming up. Once he gets to the main roster, I have a feeling these guys are gonna be. Man, these guys are going to have a whirlwind run with each other. So I'm looking forward to everything that's looking up, especially Neville. I wish he would be in the Elimination Chamber match, but he's not at it. I don't believe he's in there. But I'll find out on the match card when we go through our predictions. The last one, of course, was the snippet that we heard in the beginning of the show. Was the Fatal 4-Way match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship between Randy Orton, Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins, with Rollins winning. This, like I said earlier, this was like a war zone, man. This was the A+ match. Everyone was on their game on this match.
Yeah.
The one thing I see as a plus is that they're giving an actual chance to Seth Rollins as WWE World Champion, and Jim Ross said it best: is if you were gonna have a heel heavyweight champion, you would want to make him beatable. Compared to Brock Lesnar, when someone faces Brock Lesnar,
You're gonna die.
it's like, as Brock Lesnar is a heavyweight champion, he's almost unstoppable, purely unstoppable. You need almost like another monster in order to stop him. With Seth Rollins as your heavyweight champion, anyone could beat him. Dean Ambrose could beat him. Neville could beat him. Wade Barrett could beat him. R-Truth could beat him. This opens up the opportunity to all the other mid-carders possibly beating Seth Rollins on any given night. So with that, I really like that. And Jim Ross nailed it. I guess it was just his eye for talent. He's like, right now Seth Rollins is the best thing they have as a heel. And he is a beatable champion. And when a beatable champion fights other people who could possibly beat him, you have money.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Well, even like say with Brock Lesnar, you still gonna have money because it's Brock Lesnar.
You're drawing in with Brock.
Yeah, because the name itself will draw in because it's Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins. I like him. Again, I guess in the period. Okay, when you say like he's beatable, well, this actually gives him the opportunity to actually fine tune his talent wrestling, and you see him wrestle. Instead of just being like, taking the low blows and, cheating out of his way, you actually get to see him wrestle and improve himself. And maybe possibly in the future, people will tend to side with him because you're seeing him actually defending it, defending it instead of just, taking the cheap way out,
Oh, yeah. But what I'm looking forward to is the hunt. That's what everybody's calling it. Steve Austin called it that. Jim Ross called it that, and that's the hunt for when the Beast comes back.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's going to be the hottest babyface regardless. He's not supposed to be a babyface, but he's going to be the hottest babyface when he comes back, and whenever he gets his title match, it's going to be off the chain.
I think in a certain way, I hope they kind of keep Brock Lesnar as a neutral. Not really necessarily like a baby face or face, or not necessarily a heel, because people started loving him after. Start from WrestleMania. He beat Taker. Everybody hated him because he beat Taker, but then he beat Cena, so everybody loves him because he beat Cena. And then you had next pay-per-view where he lost the title against Seth. Well, not really lost the title to Seth Rollins, but still got lost the title, and people still love him, but he's still technically sort of a heelish type person because nobody understands him or what he's really after. He just wants a title belt. Well, he'll kick anybody's butt to get the title.
Right now, that's Steve Austin. Steve Austin was the same. Essentially, Steve Austin's character was heel throughout his entire run. He was supposed to be heel, but the fans loved him. So now Brock Lesnar is like this era right now's Steve Austin, because he's supposed to be heel, but everybody loves this guy. And again, when his times come, when he's ready, or whenever WWE is ready to pull that trigger and going, all right, we're going to bring Brock back. It's full steam ahead with Brock Lesnar. Oh, man. I would be looking forward to every pay-per-view, to every Monday Night Raw, to any possibility, any way that Brock is going to be there. I'm going to be happy. I kind of have a feeling he will appear at Elimination Chamber, but that's just, again, that's my fantasy booking. We'll get to that here in a brief time. But all in all, again, Payback was an awesome event. B+ set the tone for the week, or for the month of action that's going to follow. After Payback, of course, that Wednesday night, we had NXT, and we're going to be taking a small break. We're going to be coming back. We're going to talk about NXT Fallout, which I am excited to talk about because NXT was amazing. If you guys have not seen it, check out the network. Get it. It's worth the $9.99. NXT is just worth the $9.99, period. So we'll come right back, and we're going to talk about NXT Fallout.
So this is NXT. Now, you see, I've always made it a point to compete in the hottest promotions in the world. And everywhere I looked, and everyone who asked told me one thing: Joe, if you want to do what you want to do, if you want to be with the very best and the most hungry and the most vicious, violent, and excellent pro wrestlers in the world, then you come to NXT. And if tonight is any indication of the competition I can expect, well, rest assured, Joe is happy and Joe is here. So consider this your warning. I am Samoa Joe. I am pro wrestling, and I am now here in NXT.
So what we just heard was the ultimate mark for me, because I was flipping out. I actually was watching this at work. I was in my break room, in the employee break room, when this happened. I freaked out. I flipped the table over because I was on a bar table, on bar chairs, and as it came out, I got up and I flipped the table. And my coworker comes in and he's like, "Is everything okay in here?" I'm all like, "Yes, everything's fine." I'm just really excited what just happened. NXT A+. I can't get that was some of the best wrestling I've ever seen. That was, the wrestling gods would be proud. Everyone who was involved, top to bottom, all the talent that was there. Was an amazing show, period. Ernest, your thoughts on NXT? How did you?
Loved it. Absolutely loved it. It was just something so different than what we usually see on Raw and SmackDown. NXT is just so much freshness in NXT. It's like, wow, it's just so entertaining.
Most definitely. We're going to go down the card. We had the opening contest, I believe, if I remember correctly, was supposed to be a triple threat match.
Yes. Between
Hito Itami, Tyler Breeze, and Finn Balor. Unfortunately, Hito Itami injured himself about a week to 2 weeks prior with a torn rotator cuff. On NXT, in the beginning of the show, they had him being attacked by someone in a parking lot.
Yeah. With
Kevin Owens just walking over him. But the singles match between Tyler Breeze and Finn Balor was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
It was going back and forth. To tell you the truth, at times I thought Tyler Breeze was going to win. But again, experience comes into play, and it fell into Finn Balor. His entrance was amazing again this year.
As always, when it comes to these pay-per-views.
Yeah, I was just like, whoa. Your thoughts on his back art?
Dude, that was crazy awesome, dude.
Yeah, the dragon eye or whatever it was.
The Eye of Finn, I think it was called.
That was amazing. I was just like, man, I want to see this guy at WrestleMania to see what he's going to pull out for WrestleMania. I mean, I could only imagine. So when his time is coming up to get to WrestleMania, I'm going to be very excited. Finn Balor is now the number one contender against Kevin Owens.
Once again,
the number one contender. Kevin Owens did not look happy when Finn Balor won that match. He was watching them on the little screen that they had in the back on the Tron. He did not look happy that Finn Balor won that match. I guess because he's already beaten him.
Well, of course that's one part he's not happy about. But then I guess he wasn't very happy at the end either. So,
Yeah.
but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, the next one was, I think, the Divas Tag Team. I think it was the Divas Tag Team or the Tag Team, but no, in no particular order. We had the Divas Tag Team match between Emma and Deanna Brooks versus Charlotte and Bayley. Charlotte and Bayley pulled out that victory. Again, women's wrestling down in NXT is amazing. That match was fantastic. Emma and Bayley again. Bayley and Charlotte Flair taking the victory again on that tag team match.
And I enjoyed that match very, very well. I actually enjoyed it better than the one on Payback. But that was so much better. It just felt so organic.
Yeah, I mean, there was enough feuding within there with Emma and Bayley, with Charlotte having history with both of them, as she used to be friends with both of them when she first came out. And then Deanna Brooks, who's that new up-and-coming diva, and Emma, of course, training Deanna Brooks to be this new heel character. So it was a very interesting blend of everything in the mix. And man, I just can't say enough for these girls. These all of them. Deanna Brooks is still kind of green, but for Emma, Bayley, and Charlotte,
yeah,
I mean, you can't get any better. And then there's other ones that we're going to talk about later on. But man, that women's division is stacked, and I'm very excited on it. The next one was the surprise. The surprise match to me was the surprise match of the year. Rhino versus Baron Corbin.
Yeah, that one was kind of interesting.
I mean, I liked Rhino passing the torch to Baron Corbin, kind of, sort of, in the match. You know, to me, that's how it was. Of course, in their live events, he beat Tommy Dreamer, who is the face of ECW. Now going in with Rhino, another ECW original. I like that. And maybe he becomes the ECW killer.
You talking about Baron Corbin?
Baron Corbin. The match itself was fantastic. Pure strength. That was pure haymakers all the way through. Rhino kind of got shaken up when he fell off the top rope, and Baron Corbin kicked him. I think he got a little hurt. He was kind of woozy at the end of the match. If you watch it back after the match, when they fade out to the commentators, you see Rhino kind of being checked out by the medical staff. So I hope he's okay, because I enjoy watching Rhino. Rhino's one of my favorite wrestlers, ECW wrestlers, and I was happy when he came out on NXT. But I just hope he's okay on that part. But what did you think about that match? Like overall,
that match didn't really appeal to me till I started watching it, and then I see them going at it. As far as who was gonna come out on top, I was kind of scratching my head throughout the whole match, like who was gonna come out on top, because again, you have Rhino, which is super popular, you have Baron Corbin, which is popular as well. But that throughout the match, you heard, I was listening to the audience reactions, and they're the same thing, 50-50. And by the end of the match, when Baron Corbin won, everybody didn't seem to
mind.
It didn't. Well, not too. Well, I don't know. I guess some people didn't like it, and then some people did. But it was like, again, it was a 50-50. It was a toss. You didn't know what was going to happen. In other words, I guess you can call it character development.
Yeah,
because it was like you're building the characters and throughout the match, and you're trying to see what the audience reaction is going to be to it, and then from there at the end, what kind of character he's going to be at the end of by the end of the match via the, I guess, perspective of the audience.
Yeah. What I liked was that he's inching ever so closely to being in that main event picture. Yeah, he may not have the talent that Finn, that Hito has, or Sami Zayn has, but he has something about him. I think it's just his pure presence that he brings. He is a fantastic wrestler. I like I said, I enjoy him. What I would like to see next out of Baron Corbin, and this would be a perfect time right now, I think, to bring out RVD, another ECW original. High Flying has enough experience, similar to an older Finn Balor, an older Sami Zayn, an older Hiro Itami. RVD has the mixture of all of them, but veteran status. So if they could push if they could somehow bring RVD down to NXT just for a little bit, I think that would be a awesome next step for him. And plus, it keeps him on that streak of beating all these ECW original guys. And I think that would be a perfect next step for Baron Corbin. I think that would be a next great opponent for him. Mm-hmm. After that, we had the NXT Tag Team match. Enzo Amore and Big Cass versus Blake and Murphy. I was shocked with the heel turn of Alexis Bliss, because I really enjoyed Alexis Bliss. Blake and Murphy, I don't know, these guys are growing on me. It takes time for a tag team to grow on me and stuff like this. Certain tag teams, they're gonna click instantly with me, because I do enjoy tag team wrestling. But I would have loved to seen Enzo Amore and Big Cass win this. It was a kind of a shame, but Blake and Murphy are on a roll, man, and they look really good together. They mesh really well, and I really enjoyed that match as well.
I enjoyed it too. I mean, same thing. I would have. You're saying, I would have liked for them to win the belts, but Blake and Murphy, they're catching on.
Oh yeah, man,
they're catching on more quickly than I expected. I mean, they don't have anything. I guess they really don't have a gimmick, I should say.
They're just them.
They're just themselves. It reminds me of sort of like DX, but like really toned down.
Yeah.
But it's just like a couple of buddies like, hey, let's be a tag team. Okay, let's do it. It's like, that's what I like about them. Again, it's the organicness of that tag team. I like it.
Same thing with Enzo and Big Cass. Same thing. Yeah. They just have that click that just mesh well. The next, what I think was, besides the pure main event, which was Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens, I thought was the show stealer. They stole the show, and that was the NXT Women's Championship match between Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch. That itself shows what they need to do in Raw and SmackDown and give women's wrestling an extended period of time.
An extended period of time, and also more, I guess, character development.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know what to say. I can't say it any more than what
it was a brutal match, dude.
Yeah, I mean, physicality-wise, probably in the ranks of, like, Savage Steamboat. I mean, there was just so much going on that I really enjoyed. Maybe the one flaw that I saw in the match was overselling too much. But all in all, fantastic match, head from bottom up, man. I mean,
because they were going at it like just headbutting and just freaking, going at each other, and then they were both getting hurt, by the end of the match, the wrists and arms and shoulders, and just like, dang, dude, it's like, wow, these women are really going after it here.
I'm running out of words to say for the NXT Women's Division. I've said it on all 5 of my podcasts. I cannot state it anymore. This is what needs to happen on Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah. But also, at the same note, you need character development, because you had all this time already in NXT to develop these women and their characters, whereas in Raw and SmackDown, you don't really get to see very much character development other than on Divas, the actual show.
Divas.
Yeah, Total
you
Divas.
You have a couple. You have to really, like, the only development that we have on I guess the divas that are in Raw and SmackDown is that you actually have to pay attention to when they first debuted and then view their progression of their career. Unlike Nikki and Brie and Natalya, they have their own backs. You know, we know where they came from. We know if you follow wrestling, you know what they could do. The progression. Natalie actually trained Brie and Nikki as well when they first started. Then they went up, of course, with John Cena and Daniel Bryan. The other one, like Alicia Fox and all these, they were veterans of the ring. And Alicia Fox is an underrated women divas. I would love to see her get more time, but that's another topic for another time. Then we have the NXT Heavyweight Championship match. Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn.
Someone died by the end of the match. No, I'm just kidding. But but seriously, it felt like someone died at the end of the match.
Yeah, man. I mean, it was another. It reminded me of Daniel Bryan type of thing, but it was so good. That was the one thing. It was so good. I was like, oh man, Kevin Owens. I can't. Kevin Steen, when he was in Ring of Honor and the other promotions, showed what he's worth, man. For a big guy, this guy could move in the ring. He doesn't get tired. He helps the lighter guys so they could pull off their moves, like the Blue Thunder Bomb and all them. Was fantastic. The bumps he takes because of his weight, just look outstanding. Again, Sami Zayn. Well, to me, he's ready to get called up already. I mean,
if he doesn't get injured very permanently, almost from all this brutal assaults from NXT,
he's getting ready to get called up. So I'm like his back is probably be like, please move up that Raw so we don't have to work as hard. But I mean, man, I can't say much. Of course, and if you missed it again, at the end of the match, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens hit that powerbomb on the side of that apron, started wailing on everybody, on Sami Zayn, on William Regal.
That was, dude. I was like, because you saw William Regal go for his finishing move.
Yeah.
And Kevin Owens just like powered out of it, just freaking,
He fish hooked them, man. He fish hooked Kevin Owens, and Kevin Owens didn't like that too much.
No, he didn't.
And
no telling what Regal said to Kevin Owens.
Well, I heard John Cena. That's what I heard. I heard something about, I guess he said he wasn't going to have his match with John Cena, and then he kicked him. And that's when Kevin Owens kicked Regal in the stomach.
And then Regal went for his finisher.
Yeah. And I was just like, oh, man. I was like, I would love to see Kevin Owens versus William Regal. I think that would be awesome.
I think William Regal would die.
Yeah, he would, but it would be such a good match just to see him back in. And then as Kevin Owens was beating the crap out of everybody, he went outside, scared the ring announcer girl, JoJo, got his belt, got his steel chair, went into the ring, scared the referees who were trying to stop him, and out comes, of course, the mark moment of the night. Rumors were running rampant. They kept it hush-hush till that time.
Oh, at least they tried to.
And Samoa Joe finally joins the NXT roster. Yeah, that was awesome. I can't say much about Samoa Joe.
And then everybody started chanting,
Joe's gonna kill you.
Yeah.
That was my favorite, because to see Samoa Joe get another opportunity at WWE. His first one, he had a tryout but didn't make it. Same thing with AJ Styles. A lot of people don't know that they've had tryouts with WWE. They had live events. They worked live events, but it just didn't catch. Samoa Joe is the exception. Samoa Joe came back, was willing to go down to NXT. That's what everybody's all like, well, he doesn't have to go to NXT. You have to go through NXT. No matter how big you are, you have to go through NXT. Samoa Joe is willing to do that. What's in future for Samoa Joe?
Nobody knows.
Nobody really knows, but it's an awesome opportunity, because Samoa Joe has enough veteran stroke where he could appear at NXT and he could also appear on the main roster. He's right in the middle, and at his perfect place, because I liked his promo that he cut on that we just heard. He cut another promo in the back with Renee Young. You should check it out on YouTube. If you haven't had an opportunity, check it out. Really good promos. It was perfect. And he's in that nice little cushion where he could go either way. And I'm very excited to see what Samoa Joe is going to bring to the WWE.
I'm kind of wondering what he is really gonna do, because again, he's been in the wrestling circuit for so long. You know, how much does he still have left in him for good matches, long matches?
That's another question. I mean, you see Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Daniel Bryan. Unfortunately, the situation that's going on with Daniel Bryan.
That's where my question rises up, because you have people like Daniel Bryan, who's still relatively good, but again, by injuries, you know, they get set back, or they don't even know their future.
Yeah.
You know, so it's kind of a gamble, you know. I mean, at least for WWE's part, because again, he's coming in, I guess, healthy, and if he gets hurt, you know, because they're running him through the gauntlet, you know, what happens then? You know.
Well, the good thing is that the age that he's in, like all these wrestlers that are coming up, WWE knows that they only got possibly a good 5 to 6 years out of them, possibly, if there's really not that many injuries occurring to them. And then of course they have the new batch coming in from the NXT roster, so they're slowly gonna feed people in and out. But with Joe Owens, you could now add Joe to the mix, with Joe, Owens, Zayn, Neville, Hito Itami, Finn Balor. Those guys, you have those 6 guys. That's a good, maybe a 4-year run. That's enough time to bring in the new crop, train the new crop, while keeping at a main event status, while giving matches that I've been wanting to see, and I know other people have been wanting to see. I would love to see a Samoa Joe's John Cena match. I would love to see Samoa Joe versus Rusev match. I mean,
that's true too. I mean, but again, it really depends on that.
Yeah, where they're gonna push Joe. For a fact, I know Joe's not gonna be in NXT that long. I know that for a fact. He's gonna be there probably just to feed in Kevin Owens to the main roster. Same thing with Sami Zayn. You know, slowly get him into the main roster. Once they go into the main roster, he's going into the main roster. Because, again, Joe is one of those things where it's just like, wow. Or he could just stay in NXT. It all depends. If they want to solidify NXT as its own brand, then they sign their first major superstar, which is Samoa Joe.
True. Again, you know, he has his own pool of power. You know, he gets his own crowd, you know, that follows him. So I think that'd be perfectly fine.
Yeah, it's like you look at what NXT is doing down there with Samoa Joe signing, then bringing in Rhino. These guys are like people who belong on the main roster, but they're not. And if WWE is planting a seed for NXT to be its own brand, like all in all its own brand, like away from the main roster, then oh man, those 2 are good signings to me, in my opinion. And
be honest with you, WWE at this point needs competition to be creative.
Yeah.
Because at this point, for a while they're getting stagnant for a while.
Yeah.
And even what's his name? I forgot who mentioned, but he said, you know, it's the same stuff we see every day. I mean, it's I think it was Batista. Batista mentioned that, like, it's the same old stuff. I mean, now I'm pretty sure he could change his mind, or at least get a different opinion, because things are changing now.
Yeah.
Because again, they're going into another topic. I hate to say this, but I guess, you know, with Samoa Joe leaving TNA.
Yep. Yeah, that was that's our going in. Now that Samoa Joe is in NXT, my question I raised was this the nail in the coffin to seal TNA's fate, and they're going to be done? Of course, if you haven't been up to date on any of the dirt sheets, reports are stating that Discovery has dropped Impact Wrestling, and they will no longer be sponsoring their shows from here on out. As if they're still going to be on TV, I'm not too sure. I'm just going by the reports that I've been hearing that they have now dropped the contracts from TNA. With that itself, TNA is now going to be in a financial struggle. Once again, they're going to try to, pretty sure they're going to try to hustle
another deal for another network,
from another network as fast as they can, because it's just a shame to see TNA go down with all the talent that they have, all the good talent that they got.
And to be fair with you, TNA, I mean, they got their good, solid fan base. They're not like say WCW back in they were trailing in, you know, where fans really didn't want to show up or fans were booing at all the matches and all that kind of stuff. TNA's got their good following. They got a good following, almost comparable to NXT almost.
Yeah.
And it would be a shame to see them go because, again, the only way WWE is going to be good is when they have good, not good competition, but at least competition to push the creative to new thoughts. Because, again, if you don't have that push, you're not going to be innovative. You're not going to try out new things and see if it works. That's why I believe for the past couple of years, WWE's been sort of stagnant because they haven't had that push. Now that they have NXT growing, now I see Raw and SmackDown, they're starting to change things up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just recently in these past 2 Raws, we've been seeing something different.
Yep.
You know, something more aggressive than we used to be seeing. And WWE needs competition, no matter what. They cannot be the sole dog out there.
The one thing, like we were discussing this when, again, we were setting up for the podcast, was what's going to be, of course, trying to hustle for that network, you know, for another network. My one thought is going to be would take the WWE network to the next level and where it's supposed to be, I think. I think they should come to terms as in an agreement with TNA where they still produce TNA's, you know, out into the side, but they give them a spot on their network. So you actually have on a 24-hour wrestling network, you give them a spot maybe on a Saturday at 11 o'clock at night or 10 o'clock or 8 o'clock, wherever you want to stick them on a Saturday, and you have more wrestling. You have a new show on wrestling. And same thing for all the other ones, like Go International, Go Indie, you know, one of those guys, and give them a chance to air on the network. And you have competition from that sense. Plus, you get to experience, because there's other talent outside of NXT. Yeah, WWE wants to grow their own network, and they want to grow their own superstars. But what about the people that are feeding the feeder to the feeder? You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. It's give them as a distributor, as a place to have their show, and I think it would work out good for both of them because we'll have fresh wrestling, not always WWE wrestling. I mean, because there's ECW and stuff like that we enjoy. So maybe contact like a CZW, give them an hour block, you know, for maybe every 2 weeks, one show every 2 weeks on the network.
Yeah, I could see that happening. My idea was to have, now with the technology now, you don't have to be on an actual television network. Now, like say WWE, I'm pretty sure they pretty much moved away from actual pay-per-views. They show everything on the network. Well, why doesn't TNA do something like that? You know, not necessarily make their own network until they get them enough archive footage, but stream their stuff online pay-per-views. You know, something like that. You know, something sort of what you're saying, but instead of teaming up with, say, WWE, because again, you're teaming up with WWE. I mean, they're the big dogs. You know, if TNA doesn't want to do that, why do they stick to internet wrestling? You know, put it online. And there, they'll save money because one, you know, I don't think they have to push too much production out, and two, you don't have to worry about making deadlines every so often for the network. You know. Yeah, I can see where they can lose revenue for ad revenue and all that stuff for an actual TV network. But nowadays, you don't have to have, like, even we're just discussing, like, I don't even have cable right now. Yep. Everything I get right now is online, you know?
Same thing with me. I don't have cable itself. I watch everything via stream, you know, on the computer, you know what I mean? Hulu, Netflix, all that good stuff. So.
And that would be my suggestion to TNA if they wanted some advice. I would go online, sell your stuff online, produce your videos online, stream it online live. Again, it doesn't. I have people. Anybody can stream online. Of course, it depends how many viewers you're going to have, and depends on the server. But stream it online.
Yep.
You know, you don't have to stop, you know, on your tracks because you don't have a TV network to show your product. You have online. You have your followers. And eventually, it's just going to steamroll into a bigger thing online.
Oh, yeah.
And then sooner or later, you can create an app where someone can download on their phones or their, 360 or Xbone or PS4. They can make an app later down the road where they can actually be like the WWE Network.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
mean, there's so much that they could do. We just don't want to see TNA.
Just drop out of the map.
Yeah, just end up like another casualty of wrestling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Organizations. TNA is very good. It brings out not competition within WWE because there's no competition to WWE. Unless you're another billionaire with your own network, you're not going to compete with WWE. It's impossible. It's a global machine now.
But even the global machine can be threatened.
Oh yeah, but you have to have. It'll be money versus money. That's basically what it was during the Monday Night Wars, was money versus money, and then it turned out to be talent versus talent, and that's after the money factor.
Well, again, that's what I'm saying. You do what you need to do to stay alive.
Yeah.
And that's what Vince McMahon had to do, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
He had to do what he had to do to stay alive because he was literally getting crushed until new ideas showed up and it took off.
You know what's very interesting? What I've been noticing, and I mean I just thought about it now that we're talking about it, was a lot of the footage that they've been using was with like Ring of Honor, another indie organization. Ring of Honor, it's a shame I don't talk. As me being a wrestling podcast, I don't really talk about Ring of Honor too much because there's not too much noise coming out of Ring of Honor, but or TNA, because the main factor is like it's WWE. It's always been and always will be WWE. But like I said, we're bringing this noise out because we just don't want to see TNA crumble. Ring of Honor is actually a really good promotion. I think the only thing that they could use or change in Ring of Honor is their production value just a little bit, and maybe their talent is going too fast sometimes. Like they move I like that style of wrestling because it reminds me of lucha, but sometimes they move too fast, and it looks like they're just trying to. Yeah, they only have an hour on TV, but they're trying to go too fast, and sometimes it's like, okay, guys, you guys could slow down for maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Yeah, you have a time limit, but golly, guys, come on, just slow it down just a bit, and you should be fine. Ring of Honor is actually really good. I enjoy Ring of Honor. If you don't watch them on, I think they come on Fox or on the Sinclair network. Check your local TV listings for Sinclair and for Ring of Honor. For San Antonio, it is, I think, channel. It's Fox. Fox.
And see, that's one thing I don't like. Well, this is where I should say with TNA, they should go online because, again, I don't have cable, and in order to get a special channel, you got to go through a certain package.
Well, no,
it's not sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, again, where TNA was at right now, Destination America. What?
Yeah.
What is this Destination America TV channel? I don't know anything about it. Like I was telling you, there's another network I like called MAV TV, and their thing is like all American TV. They have racing, they have fishing, they have everything that's all American. What's more American than wrestling? They should have went with MAV TV or something like that because they're a growing network. Destination America, all it is just really I guess touring, tour type destination style where you can go.
Yeah, they're owned by Discovery.
It's not really fits wrestling.
Yeah, they're owned by Discovery, that network. So it was just like.
It wasn't the right choice. I mean, again, TNA was really, really looking for a network, and they offered and they took it without really thinking about what it was to begin with. So, but that's what I'm saying. I think TNA should focus on internet.
If somehow, or basic TV.
That's hard.
That is hard, but I think it could be done. You'd have to go to one of the top affiliates. Obviously,
yeah, it's like NBC, ABC. You got some TBS networks, but again, that's TBS. That's going back into the past. That's.
I mean, you have El Rey, you have Univision. If you have to go down Mexico, man, you got Telemundo, Univision, Galavision.
But then they have their own wrestling there too.
No, yeah,
right?
well, they got AAA
Yeah,
on
so
them.
that's kind of killing,
But-
defeating the purpose.
Well, you know what? But TNA has a good working relationship with AAA. So
Well, that's surprising because remember the TNA also has with New.
New Japan, and New Japan is now on American TV. Check your local TV listings for New Japan Pro Wrestling. Oh my God, I'm freaking out about it when I heard about it. It's like I somehow gotta find out which channel they're on so I could put on my HD tuner so I could see these guys. I heard it was maybe basic cable. So if it is on basic cable, OMG.
Yeah, well, that's what thing with because I think USA is on basic right now, right?
Well,
I think they finally made it to basic cable, isn't it?
well, no, I'm talking about HD tuner.
No,
antenna.
but I'm just talking about in
yeah,
general.
yeah. In general, yeah, USA's on basic cable.
Okay,
now.
so that's where you really need to hit. If you want to hit WWE hard, you have to find a network that's on basic cable or basic television. If you don't make it into basic, you're not going to make it because, again, you're going to have to get a... Not everybody can afford cable packages.
I'd say go for HBO. HBO. We're gonna. That was the ending for this segment. HBO. You can have TVMA. You can go more hardcore with HBO, man. That's
That's HBO. That's another package you gotta buy.
Yeah, but that's like
No.
you could do on HBO.
I'm a poor wrestling fan. I can't afford this, Jesse.
I was like, what you could do on HBO? Everything.
True to that. But I'm a poor wrestling fan, so I don't have said money to buy more packages on cable network or cable TV.
So, TNA, don't go anywhere. We love you guys. We love wrestling out there. Try to find something if you can. Fans, support TNA. Contact Discovery. Write your letters to your network or anything that you could do to help these guys. Because, I mean, I don't want to see other people out of the job, man. Especially like these guys. They're really talented down in TNA. They're awesome. So whatever you can to help support TNA, do so because they're an awesome organization. We love those guys out there. So, again, our next topic we're coming up to is going to be the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. That's coming up on Sunday. Yay, more wrestling. So we'll be coming right back, and we're going to be talking Elimination Chamber predictions. And that's it. We'll be right back.
That was it?
That was the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Make sure you watch it Sunday, on the 3rd.
Do it again.
That was the Elimination Chamber. Well, we got our Elimination Chamber predictions coming up. So what we have now, I don't know any of the kickoff matches or if one of these that I'm about to say are going to be a kickoff match. But we're just going to run down the cards that so far have been confirmed for the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. So we'll start off going up. We have Adrian Neville taking on Bo Dallas.
That was just recently too, right?
Well, on the main roster, yes. They have a history in NXT.
That's true.
Neville beat Bo Dallas to start the Neville era of NXT as an NXT heavyweight champion. Bo Dallas, of course, was the most hated NXT champion there that they had. I like these guys feuding. These guys had a really good feud down in NXT, and they're going to show the world what they did in NXT to the main roster. This is going to be a bright spot. Whether if they give them on the, I would like to see this actually on the kickoff, because if it's on the kickoff, that's 20 minutes they'll get, and that's good enough time. That's almost as much time as they had in NXT. Mm-hmm. If it's on the main card, it might get cut. But you never know, because this this pay-per-view was just like thrown together. It was just like,
Very last minute.
Wow, we need to do something. Like they turned their live show into a pay-per-view.
Essentially.
So
I don't know when's the last time something like that has happened.
and I have not. I've not. The only other time that I could remember is when I went as a kid, and that was on. It was I believe Tuesday night in Texas, and that was a. It was dark matches. It was a live event, but they recorded it and turned it into a pay-per-view, which is on the WWE network. Though I'm not too sure if the main event made it on the card, which was an awesome pay-per-view. It was Hulk Hogan versus The Undertaker, and a lot of people who never saw it or who were not there, that was the only time when Undertaker put Hulk Hogan in a body bag. That to me was awesome. When I saw that, I was there in the crowd, and when I saw that, I flipped. I was just like, "Oh yes, this is." And I was like about 8 or 9 at the time when they came through. And that was just an awesome event too, man. Tuesday night in Texas, check it out. I saw it on the WWE network. I'm not too sure if it's still there, but last time I checked, it was there. So Bo Dallas versus Adrian Neville. On this one, I am going for I'm going to say that Bo Dallas is going to avenge his loss from NXT. I'm going to go with a Bo Dallas victory on this one.
Likewise, I'm going to say Bo Dallas again, because they've been hyping up Bo Dallas for I don't know how long already. And Neville, again, what I said last week or last time was Neville needs to lose a couple of matches, maybe a little more than he wins, because you want to build him as the underdog. What better way than this? Him against Bo Dallas, have Bo Dallas wins, because right now Bo Dallas is a heel.
Yep.
So that's I say that's perfect. I'd say that's a perfect scenario that should happen this weekend.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's so many ways they could go with this. I think Bo Dallas is clean shaven now. Again, he went back to his clean cut face. Because I was gonna say, if he kept his beard, seeds have been planted. To me, seeds have been planted that he was gonna team up with his brother, and I thought that would have been a lot cooler to team up with Bray. But you never know what WWE is thinking up in their little heads. So Bo Dallas, again, we both are saying that Bo Dallas is going to take it. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to this match. I think it's going to blow the roof off the place. So, we go on to our next one, which is our WWE Divas Championship match, which is Nikki Bella versus Naomi. It's getting time. It's getting close that Nikki Bella is going to be dropping her title. You see it in the air. You just have that tension now that it's building. This is not the time yet, though. I believe Nikki Bella is going to win this match, but it's going to come very, very close. But it's going to be interesting to see because of how good the matches were on NXT.
How long they're going to last on this one?
How much time they're going to give Nikki and Naomi. Because Naomi is very athletic, and same thing with Nikki. They're both athletic. But again, it comes down to how much time they're going to give them. I think if you give them enough time, I think they'll pull off a great match.
I think so too, but man, that one's a tough one to choose.
Again, I'm going to go with Nikki on this one because she's Nikki Bella, and
yeah.
You heard
You're biased.
You heard my other podcast, ladies and gentlemen. You know I am biased to Nikki Bella.
I'm going with Naomi. I think it's time for a title change.
Naomi is a good choice because she's very, very athletic. The next one we're going to go to is going to be... This is the first time this has ever happened, and I'm looking forward to this. And it's a WWE Tag Team Championship Elimination Chamber match. You have the Tag Team Champions, The New Day, taking on Cesaro and Kid versus the Ascension versus the Primetime Players versus the Lucha Dragons versus the Los Matadores.
Oh, God, how many people in that match already?
That is essentially the whole mid-card.
God.
So they better hope that no one really gets hurt. Pretty much everyone who was supposed to work that event is in that match right there. Essentially, I think the New Day is gonna retain their championship because they have that extra person. Somehow, some way, Xavier Woods or whomever's out who's not in that match is gonna find a way to get into that match, and that's gonna be very interesting. And I'm gonna say a New Day victory on the first ever tag team elimination chamber match.
I know I was wrong the last time, but I'm going back with Kid and Cesaro.
You can't go wrong with Kid or Cesaro too. Yeah. My other choice.
You know what? But the twist, I should say, I'm gonna have a twist now. Okay, yes, I would like to see Cesaro and Kid win, but I'll be very surprised if the Ascension wins.
My heart goes. No, you know what? I have to reverse this. Logic says New Day's gonna win. My heart of hearts, I want the primetime players to win. I love Titus O'Neil. Titus O'Neil is one of my favorite wrestlers on the WWE roster. Underutilized. Same thing with Darren Young. They're both underutilized, a.k.a. Darren Young, a.k.a. the Black Cena. If you were to shave off his beard and you put John Cena's face and his face, they're essentially the same. But Titus O'Neil, I think he just needs a title push. He just needs one. Or join the New Day. Do something with these guys. Let them do something and let them have fun. You know what I mean? But I think Titus O'Neil deserves the title. I would love to see that, but logic and what's best for business is for New Day to win the championship and to retain. Then you have, which first reported on my previous podcast was that there was going to be an IC Battle Royal. That was actually changed for this in particular night, which we're going to have a Intercontinental Elimination Chamber match. In the match, you're going to have Rusev, Dolph Ziggler, King Barrett, Sheamus, R-Truth, and Ryback in this match. For me, the winner of this match would be King Barrett. I think Wade Barrett will become the Intercontinental Champion in this match.
I think going with their logic, I think Barrett will be IC champion. However, in my surprise twist one, I would like to see who are the cards again?
Rusev, Ziggler, Sheamus, R-Truth, and Ryback.
Rusev will be my surprise twist. Because he needs something. He needs something to legitimize why
he's there.
Yeah, he's there.
Logic says King Barrett for me. Heart of hearts. Just like Titus O'Neil. Heart of hearts. I want R-Truth to win. But I do agree with you. And I don't know if anyone else has seen it, but I see it. And it is a twist. Well, not really a twist, but it's the most basic story setup in WWE. Evil couple breaks up, goes with someone else, helps back evil couple win a title. That's what's going to happen on this one. The last two people in that chamber is going to be Dolph Ziggler versus Rusev.
Mm-hmm.
Lana's going to cost Dolph Ziggler the championship and go back with Rusev. That's how I see that one.
Never know.
No, that's what's gonna happen. That's like I want King Barrett and I want R-Truth to win, but it's not gonna happen. The next one we have, I don't know which one I want to talk about last.
Well, you still got two more.
Yeah, I know. I just don't know which one I want to talk about last. You know what? I know which one I want to talk about last. So we're going to go with the next match we're going to talk about, again in no particular order, is the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match, which is going to be between Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. I don't know where they're gonna go with this. This is an awesome feud because again, Seth Rollins is beatable. I can see Dean Ambrose becoming the heavyweight champion because the people they have lined up as other opponents after Roman Reigns, Kane, possibly Rusev, possibly Bray Wyatt, possibly Randy Orton. All these guys, they're all beatable. That's what I like about it, and it shows legitimacy for the title. And it's gonna go to the worker. Seth Rollins is gonna win this match.
More for business.
Yeah. Heart of hearts, I want Dean Ambrose to win. But I'm
with you on that. Business wise, it's gonna be Seth Rollins. We all know it's gonna be Seth Rollins. We would love to see, Dean Ambrose win and take it away from Seth Rollins for a period of time. But we know that's not gonna really happen. But that's what we wish would happen.
Because even as I put my nose to my mic, I can't see Dean Ambrose beating Brock Lesnar in the long. If he were to get the title,
yeah,
I don't see Dean Ambrose beating Brock Lesnar. I just don't.
Well, that's when you bring back the Beast because he
Yeah.
can knock down anybody.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because really, Dean Ambrose does not. Well, I think anybody who goes up against
we go back
Beast,
to go back to what we said in the beginning.
They're gonna die. Doesn't matter who you put up against the Beast, you're gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I can maybe Seth Rollins can take it as sort of like say, haha, I lost the title because I don't have to fight the Beast. You now have to fight the Beast. Go die.
Yeah. So it could go any other way, but what I'm shooting for, I'm pretty sure we all know Seth Rollins is gonna win this match. But now comes to the surprise.
Yes, the best thing that's happened since ever.
The one that I'm most excited for into seeing how this plays out, and I'm not too sure if this is for the United States Championship. I don't know if it is or not.
It'd be awesome if it was.
But this is the confirmed is I'm not too sure if it's the title match, but it's John Cena versus Kevin Owens, champion versus champion. It will be a clash of champions.
Mm-hmm.
So on this one, very, very interesting. Like Michael Cole said, a very, very interesting development.
If you guys didn't see what happened on Raw,
watch it.
Yes,
awesome.
Yes, I kept on rewinding it.
2 weeks ago, that was an awesome.
That was one clip I kept on rewinding because I loved the way he powerbombed John Cena to the mat. That was just a thing of beauty.
And if you didn't see it this past Monday, watch it because it was an awesome one as well.
I guess in a certain way, they're trying to push where Cena can be beat.
Yeah, that's
which is good. I like to see that because Cena so far has been, almost not the Beast, but I'm just saying, anybody that's going against Cena has lost, but they're getting to that point where Cena's starting to lose his
he's
ability
getting older.
to, so this match, oh man, it was such a dream, not a dream come true because it was a surprise thing to see Kevin Owens come out and basically tell Cena to his face, dude, you're full of crap. I'm sorry. Like, you're nothing. He's kind of like CM Punkish, coming out. It's like, dude, you're not the best. And you know what? Your open challenge, I don't give a crap about it. And John Cena's like, let me give you some veteran. Like, dude, I've been doing this more than you.
This is what makes, this type of match is what makes John Cena. You know what I mean? That's, again, you have to have. You could say that, yes, they're feeding Kevin Owens to the lion, to John Cena.
No. That was Sami Zayn.
Well, no.
Okay, I said because
that's essentially anybody. They did it to Hogan. They did it with Hogan. It's the same thing with Cena.
But no, this one I can actually see Kevin Owens beating the crap out of John Cena like he did to Sami Zayn. He did to everybody in NXT.
Oh yeah, I mean
I think that's what everybody really would love to see is get Cena's ass whooped hard.
Oh yeah,
That's what everybody wants. That's what they're billing this as, is that Cena's gonna get his ass whooped by Kevin Owens, and he will. Now, whether he wins or not, that remains to be seen. Because Cena's that, of course, that the one that always comes up the last minute and does something Cena.
Yeah. So now we're gonna go to predictions on this match, Ernest.
For business. For business, I'm going to regretfully say Cena. But it's also best for business is for Kevin Owens to win too. So I am split here. This is not something that, too hard. This is something I'm legitimately split for business. If Owens wins, that's great for business. If Cena wins, that's also best for business, but that's something I really don't want to see, but I know it's best for business. But if Kevin Owens wins, takes the U.S. title to NXT, that's, whoa, what are you doing there? What's going on here? You have my attention now. What are you going to do with it? That's, again, both winning is best for business. Or both losing is still good for business because you have Cena falling to Kevin Owens, which is what some of the fans would like to see. Him finally falling to somebody as strong as from NXT. So it's just one of those. Like, I hate to say it, but it may be a win-win for both of them.
As you were talking, my hamster wheel started spinning. And I got the evil look in my eye, the Vince McMahon look. I do agree. It's a win-win situation, best for business on both sides. But something's lacking in NXT. There's one thing that's lacking in NXT, and this would spark it. And it's to literally, this would literally make NXT its own brand. You split those titles. Kevin Owens, what's best for business, in my opinion, and would make more money, Kevin Owens wins this match. I am going to say Kevin Owens wins this match. This is why. Because what you just said.
Okay.
We're going to go old school. Really old school on this. And that is SmackDown and Raw will only have the original Triple Crown titles.
Which are?
Heavyweight Championship, Tag Team Championship, Intercontinental Championship, WWE titles.
Okay.
NXT, for me, is lacking one title and an extra title because they have so much talent there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you're right. You're actually right. I think they only have, at this point in time,
the women's, tag team, and heavyweight.
Ah.
If they could get that U.S. title into NXT, keep the United States title in NXT, that would legitimize the brand. Because you have a prestigious title as the United States Heavyweight Championship in there. What that could do is that could cross brands. Make that title the only title that could cross brands. And I think that would work. And that would be the best thing to happen for NXT. I say Kevin Owens wins this match. That's what's best for business because that's going to draw in money. And Vince McMahon loves money. That's what's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. Kevin Owens is going to win this match. You know what? I've never done this in a really long time.
And what's that?
You could take that to the bank. Kevin Owens wins this match.
I think we're silent on that.
Woo!
Like there was nothing to say after that because it's like, wow, that is a bold prediction because, like I said, I'm on the fence. I'm still on the fence. Again, I would love to see Kevin Owens win. It doesn't hurt to see Cena win, but still, what you just said there could be the catalyst.
And really fast, as we get ready to close the show, my last topic that I wanted to talk about, the show is kind of dragging on, but my last topic that I wanted to talk about, and this falls into pretty much everything as of late that we've been seeing, has WWE been going a little too extreme? Are we starting to see them pushing the envelope, bringing back blood, bringing back that catchphrase, blood, sweat, and tears, seeing blood on Dolph Ziggler, seeing blood on Brock Lesnar? I like this. I really enjoy seeing blood at a certain, not all the time. I'm not talking about like every match I want to see blood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But to solidify a match, like the Russian Chain match that passed at what was it? Payback? No, not Payback. The one before it. That Russian Chain match.
Oh, Extreme Rules.
Thank you. The Extreme Rules pay-per-view. If there was blood on that match, that would have been epic, because that match fell short because there was something missing. And it was the blood of it. I think if there was blood in that match, that Russian Chain match would have sealed the deal, and that would have raised the pay-per-view. Adding a little touch to Extreme here and there with blood is perfect.
Adding too much, however,
I'm not saying like I said, not every match.
Yeah. Just
a little bit here and there. Like a little dab would do you. A little dab of blood would do you in WWE right now. Seeing that extremeness come back to it would be perfect, because you are PG, but PG stands for parental guidance. So you do have to have someone with you, you know what I mean? Because there's violence. There's certain scenes of violence that's there, and what's part of violence is blood. That is fine. A little dab would do you. Enough to get the story over, and to show, even the younger fans, they're like, hey, I mean, if a little kid's gonna punch another little kid and there's not gonna be no blood, that's fake.
Yeah.
You get hit, there's gonna be blood somewhere on your body. You're gonna be bleeding from your mouth. You're gonna be bleeding from your nose. You're gonna be by a gash on your forehead,
or bruised, or
you know what I mean. That happens. So a little dab would do you, and I think it would be fantastic. And it's just adding wrestling back into the mix, and they do need that. I think it feels. Ernest, what are your thoughts?
Same thing, because it feels like I was listening to a podcast earlier, how at one point in time wrestling seemed like Looney Tune-ish. You hit them like with something so hard, and they come right back up because they didn't feel it. You don't want to hurt the superstar, but you definitely want to make it seem real enough where, these two are actually legitimately fighting. So, I agree. A little bit will help, not too much. Just like good matches, like say the one between Dolph Ziggler and Sheamus. That headbutt. You made it legitimate because the dude is bleeding. He really hit freaking Sheamus in the head. He's bleeding hell nigh heaven, So, a little bit will help. Don't overdo it. You're just making it, trying to legitimize the match is what it's really trying to do.
Yeah. Again, just seeing that to me was pretty cool. When they had that match at Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, and seeing the welt on his face when he came back, I thought that was really cool.
But then again, Brock Lesnar is sort of like a Mick Foley guy. He likes the pain to certain degrees, I guess you can say.
Yeah. How would I say it? It's just adding more realism to it.
Yeah.
See, Brock, that's what Brock did. And if you notice, when Brock came back against John Cena, he bled. He bled for Cena. And that was really good because it added the mystique to Brock Lesnar. Lesnar is one of those... when you fight Brock Lesnar... Again, we all come back to Brock Lesnar eventually.
Yeah.
he is that monster, and you know how rough he is. So if he hits you, you're going to feel it. When you hit him, he tells you to hit him as hard as you can because he wants to make it look real. And so when you hit him that hard, there's cuts, there's blood, and that makes it more real for me. And that's why a lot of Brock Lesnar's matches are so good, is because there's so much physicality behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And that adds a little bit of mystique to it. So, again, and a lot of our fans agree on our webpage about it. Pretty much what everyone is saying is that a little dab would do you, pretty much. I don't know, they would like to see blood more and more matches, but not too much. I mean, don't have like a blood bank or anything in the back.
Yeah.
But, just have enough where it's awesome. You know what I mean? Keep it healthy, have them get checked, all that good stuff. Or just do it on rare occasions on certain matches, like big matches. And you should be fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, they've all done it before in the past, and blood is part of wrestling, and I think it adds a mystique to it, because some of the greatest moments that I remember seeing, Ric Flair busted open holding that championship, Steve Austin passing out to the sharpshooter, busted wide open, Dusty Rhodes winning the championship, busted open. Seeing those, that phrase, blood, sweat, and tears, is what makes everything. Everyone gives their blood. If you don't bleed for what you've done or what you're doing at work, then you're not living. We all bleed sometime. Like, I got cut at work. You know what I mean? There was blood. It's right there. You can't see it, but it's on my arm. You know what I mean? I don't know how it got there. I know it was at work because it wasn't there when I but it was at work. So, again, little dab would do you, WWE. Add that extremeness, and you should be fine. And that is it. We'll see you guys next week with the fallout from Elimination Chamber. And the next pay-per-view, I believe, if I got my calendar correctly, it's either Money in the Bank or Night of Champions. I think it's Money in the Bank. I think it is Money in the Bank. I think Money in the Bank is the next pay-per-view. And if it is Money in the Bank pay-per-view, oh, Jesus, I want to know who's going to be in that match, because I want to know who they're looking to see and who they're looking to build for the future.
True. Very true.
So, guys, you all have a good night. Enjoy Elimination Chamber on Sunday.
In Texas.
In Corpus Christi, Texas. June 1, if you're in San Antonio, June 1, Monday Night Raw. And, of course, NXT is on Wednesday, because I want to know if Samoa Joe's going to be back, or if Kevin Owens going to talk about Samoa Joe. So Wednesday, definitely NXT. Sunday,
because you have Monday Night Raw Fallout from Elimination Chamber, and then you have NXT Fallout, essentially, because you got Kevin Owens going back. So yeah, you got double Fallout, essentially.
So make sure you guys tune in to wrestling this week. Again, it's another jam-packed edition of wrestling this week from WWE. Again, help TNA out. Also, follow us on Twitter, SADemon2010 for me, Ultra Crow, Anime Fun TV also from our homepage, YouTube, the Fatal 4-Way Podcast, Jesse Lopez, also on Facebook, the Fatal 4-Way Podcast community page, AnimeFunTV.com, of course, where you could also see our touring schedule for our conventions that we're going to be doing, as well as post on other events that we may be doing as well. So, guys, you all have a good night. Enjoy Elimination Chamber. Enjoy Monday Night Raw. Enjoy NXT, TNA, Ring of Honor. Enjoy wrestling in general. You all have a good night.
Good night, everybody.